Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Oh, that looks pretty dark tonight. I don't know why. Let's get that up a little bit more. Hope everybody's doing well. We just got over having a really pretty big storm. So I'm glad that it's over. It rained, hey Dew, rained really hard. We had a really bad storm come through, but it's now all over. So for tonight, I'm going to be using In Symmetry, and this is a bundle, and it comes with this really neat punch. And with this punch, you can cut out the little leaves and use the leaves like I've done on the box, or you could also use it as a border and run a little border across the bottom, which would be nice. Hey Ruth, how are you? Hi Sonia. Great to see you. So that's what we'll be using tonight. Plus, from the mini catalog that will be coming out in August. Unfortunately, I can't show you the inside, but this paper called Harvest Meadow, really pretty papers, beautiful for the fall season with bright colors, beautiful designs. And I chose this paper for tonight because I just love the design and I love the soft succulent. Hey Maggie. And then the back of it has like a winter scene. So or it actually could be pussy willow. So it could be either or, winter or pussy willows. But I just fell in love with this paper and I thought it would go perfect with the In Symmetry stamp set. And then also in the new catalog are these amazing craft gift boxes. And they come 10 to a package, and they measure 4.5 by 6.5. And they have this cute little window in it, and they're food safe. So for Christmas time, they'd be great for cookies because they're it's about 3/4 of an inch to an inch deep. So it'd be great for Christmas cookies that you hand out. And instead of using it for cookies, I decided to create a box with a little box inside that holds a pen, because it is the perfect size for your cards and envelope. So, and I didn't finish the inside of this box, but I did cut paper to finish the inside of the box tonight. So what a perfect little gift that would also be. So I'm looking forward to creating that again. Hi everybody. Yes, I think it is Pussy Willow. I really do. I can't see your name. If you didn't give StreamYard permission, all I see is Facebook user. So I will say hello to everybody personally after the video so I can see it. Hey Kathy, how are you? Thanks for coming. Now, before I get started, I just want to remind you that my Christmas in July craft box registration closes tonight at midnight. And it comes with this fun fold card, which actually acts as a gift card holder. This cute little pizza box type box. this little box in a box that opens, and I can't open it because of the ribbon, but it does open on the bottom. And then this crazy twisted box, and this opens, the ribbon fell off. This opens from the top, and then the bottom is closed. And then this cute little treat holder that I actually have a gusset bag in, and I use the gum that came in the paper pumpkin, but I believe it was for May. So registration for that closes tonight. I will have a PDF available probably tomorrow evening. So if you're interested, hey Leah, how are you? If you're interested, you'll have to order it tonight. So I'm going to start with this card first. Oh, my bow fell off again. I don't know what happened to it. Okay, so this card actually opens from right to left. I decided to change it, so I cut my cardstock 11 by 4 1/4, and this time I scored it at 5 1/2. As everybody knows, it seems like whenever I create my cards and then I do them again, I do something different all the time. Let me just open up a new glue here because my glue seems to be empty. Okay, so I'm just going to layer another layer of the soft succulent, and this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and I'm just going to layer that on the front of the card. My craft room is so hot, even my glue is melted. I think I am going to get a little portable air conditioner for in here. There's no sense in suffering in the heat because I spent so much time in here. And then I have a piece of DSP, and it's 5 1/4 by 4. So my layers are 1/8 of an inch difference. And we're just going to layer that right on top. Tonight's projects are a little simpler than usual. There's not a ton of different pieces. Oh, the box and the star. Yeah, I'm going, actually, when I I have my PDF written, but I've read it through a few times, and I'm actually going to do a video for the 2 boxes. The star is pretty easy, but the 2 boxes, I think it'll be a lot easier if I do a video so everybody can see how it was done. So that'll be included with the PDF, because I don't want everybody to get upset with me when they get the PDF and not be able to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now I have a layer that is 2 5/8 by 5 1/4. So this is this is the same size. Let me just check to make sure as the DSP. And then I have a layer of the white. Now for the white, I'm going to use the soft succulent for the stem and the leaves. And then I chose Calypso Coral for the flower, only because I think, and it doesn't say Calypso Coral on the back of the package, but that's about what color that reminds me of. So I'll start with the flower first. Now this flower is pretty wide. I think it measures just about 2 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to have to fit it onto here and watch the sides when we stamp. So I'm just going to stand up a second, get that out of the way, and we're just going to stamp this flower right about there. And that looks pretty good. And then for the stem, there is one stamp that's just a straight line. Let's close that up. We'll grab the soft succulent, and I'm just going to ink this up. And if you can see at the bottom of this flower, there's a little opening. So I'm just going to put that up into that little crevice to stamp my stem. And then I'm just going to grab the leaf that I didn't even clean off from before. And it actually comes in one piece, which is really nice. And we're going to ink that up and stamp this right there. As you can see, my ink pads are really, really new. So if you have a problem with your ink pad stamping just like that did, leaving little marks, I would suggest, and let me just grab a mini, okay, yes, do that, Leah, because I need something. It's just, this room is just a small little bedroom that I converted, so I would appreciate that. So if your stamp pad is really juicy with a lot of ink, I usually take my bone folder and I'll just scrape the ink to one side, just like this, and I'll show you the difference. And then just wipe off your bone folder. But just let me grab a scrap piece of paper here. Now that I scraped that ink down, if you ink up on that spot and then stamp, you can see the difference in the quality of the stamp. So it's just something to think about if you have that problem with stamps that are really, really full of ink or brand new. So now I'm going to just grab my sentiment, and it says, "You are perfectly unique." And I closed it up, but I'm going to use my soft succulent again. Let's get that out of the way. And I'm just going to put it down here in this empty spot down here to fill in this piece. Just going to ink it up and hopefully get this on here straight. And that looks pretty good. So now we're just going to layer this onto this soft succulent. Yeah, that does work really good. Because sometimes, like especially with the stamps that are textured, you do need to make sure that you don't overstamp them so the ink doesn't get into those crevices. But you'll notice on the leaves there's just a little dot. That's because there was just too much ink. Okay, so let's just grab the front of this card again, and I am going to pop this up on the front of this card. So let's add these dimensionals almost down to the end. Hello, Ohio. How are you? Oh, that's a really great idea that you had it in the truck. Okay. So like I said, this is the same length of our DSP. So I just want to make sure that it's lined up with that DSP. And we have just about the same amount of space on either side. I'm going to put it this way so I can line it up a little better. And that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to grab the Genial gems. And I don't have any little ones left. So I'll put a large one on the outside. I actually have these ordered for the craft box. And I'll put the two small ones, oops, on the inside. These are actually perfect for this cardstock. It really does match the cardstock well. And then I'm just going to grab my ribbon. Make sure that you cut a length that is long enough. I usually cut mine too short. And again, you'll hold it right here between your thumb. Hey, Kathy, how are you, honey? Cool, Minnesota? It's hot here in Pennsylvania. But you're going to hold your ribbon, wrap it around these two fingers, lift up your thumb, and then hold it in this spot. Grab your tail, put it between your fingers, and then through your fingers underneath this piece. Grab the tail again, make sure it's straight through your finger, and this tail is going to grab that loop, go to the right, and pull. Whoops, and I undid it. See that? I stretched my fingers just a little too much. Okay, so when you pull, you just want to, I always get it stuck on my finger, that's why. So you just want to pull those knots so it's nice and tight, and it'll give you a nice puffy ribbon. Now let's see where I did with my glue dots. All right, let me just grab some new glue dots. I'll show you how warm it is. I don't even know where that other pack went. But usually my glue dots are pretty, see how melty they are? That's how warm it is in here. So yes, we need an air conditioner in this room. Okay, let me just grab another one. And I'm just going to add this right underneath or right at the bottom of the leaves. And I like to put my ribbon on first and then cut my tails. I need to have my little scissors sharpened. I meant to grab some foil this afternoon and I forgot all about it. Okay, so there's the front of our card. Looks pretty similar. And then for the inside, I did something very simple. The set also comes with these two leaf stamps. And I just lined it up on my block. Oops, I see a piece of hair. And I just wanted to make sure I got these on straight. And that looks pretty good. And the inside of my card has a layer of soft sea foam. and it is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then a layer of basic white, and to be honest, it may be Whisper White because I found a whole new pack that I had, and this is 5 1/4 by 4, and I am just going to ink up these leaves and stamp it right in the center of my basic white. And since I used the heart for my second card, and I'm just looking to see, it's the Floral Heart dies. I wanted to check to make sure I got the name right. There's also a die in there with these cute little hearts. So I actually cut some out, and I'm just going to add a heart right here to the center. Let me grab my pokey tool, and I'm just going to add this right to the center, right between those leaves. Make sure it's on there straight, and it isn't. There we go. And then we're just going to glue this to our soft succulent layer. Now, to make sure you don't see your glue on this nice white layer, don't put too much, and always leave it towards the edges. And then we're just gonna add some glue to the back. Grab our card, and then just layer this right on the inside of the card. And there we go. That's card number 1. I just love this paper. I wish it came in a whole pack all by itself. No. The storm we got may have been an offshoot to Elsa, but we're far enough inland in Pennsylvania here that we shouldn't be affected by it, just the outer portion of it, I believe. I think Long Island, Massachusetts, I think Maine, I think they're going to get hit hard. And there we go. So it doesn't really change it being open this way or open this way. It's just another option. So that's card number 1. Now card number 2, I'm not really too sure how much I care for it. How crazy is that? I wanted to do something with a heart, and this is the only heart that I had, and that's the reason I ended up using it. And I have to actually pull my die cut out. But between the paper and the In Symmetry stamp set, it reminds me of like the Dutch houses, or actually Amish too, that paint their shutters, and that is what this set reminded me of. So the paper was perfect. I wanted to get a heart. This is the only heart I had, so I figured I'd go with it. If I would have thought I should have actually popped it up. Maybe that's what we'll try tonight. If I can, I'm taking all the little pieces out. I forgot to pull it out of the die. I'm really sorry. But maybe we'll try popping this one up. Hopefully. Is there anyone? Thanks, Stu. Oh, yeah, it's skimming past. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? I've been working on my album, Elizabeth, for Saturday, trying to get it all decorated, and then my pieces cut out for the second one. And today I actually cut all the, there we go, we got it now. I cut all my chipboard for the next project, so I'm a little ahead, little behind, little ahead. Okay, so here's the heart from the Floral Heart. And again, this one is 8.5 by 5.5. Whoops, did I score it wrong? I think I did. Yep, I did. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just cut another one really quick. I scored it at 4 instead of 4.25. So let me just quick score this. We'll do it the right way this time. 4.25. Okay. So it's scored at 4.25. And again, I'm going to lay down a layer of soft succulent. I can't make cards without using a few different layers. And then I'm going to use my 5.25 by 4 for my top layer. Just making sure that I cut it right, and I did. Okay, so for this one, when I cut out, and where's my little heart? When I cut out the big heart, as you can see, a center heart comes out. And all I did, and I'll do this really quick, is I used this as my template because I didn't want to waste a whole nother, and I probably could have just run it partially through with the die cut and a smaller piece of paper, but I figured it was just as easy to fussy cut around this heart so I could put it into the center. Sometimes I come in here and just get so lost with what I'm doing that I don't even think about using a shortcut. So that's all I did, was I fussy cut a little heart. And I just wanted to get a fair idea where I was going to put the heart so I knew where to stamp. So let me just grab my pad, just like that. And as you can see, I used the same stamp for the leaves, but this time I used the tulip type stamp, and I stamped it in the bumblebee. Again, I wanted to pull the bumblebee color off the DSP. And let me just grab the stamp. And knowing now this is where the heart is going to be, just going to ink up my stamp, and we'll put it right about there. And I'm going to do this first, and then I do have to run it through the Big Shot with the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. So I'm going to grab my soft succulent. I did not use the stem this time, just the leaves. And I just did it right underneath that flower. And then I grabbed the matching little tiny tulip, as you can see right here. Got something stuck on it. And I actually stamped in each corner. And I actually stamped off. So I'm just going to stamp, and I'm off the screen. Stamp. And I'm just going to put it, one little tulip in each corner. Oops. That one has one dark petal. That's okay. Just like that. And then I'm just going to quick run this through my Big Shot. Give me 1 second. I'll have it all set up and ready to go. So we're just going to put this inside the embossing folder, and I'm going to line it up right here on this line. Run it through really quick. And the static makes the paper stick to the embossing folder. Okay, so now we're going to put the heart. And it does cover up that leaf, but that's okay. But I think this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some small, the little mini dimensionals, and let's try popping it up this time. So I'm going to just put them in all the spots where there's a little bit of room so they won't show through on the front of the card. I think just popping it up is going to make it look completely different. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Hopefully that will hold it up enough. I'll still glue the DSP to the card itself, but this one will, we'll see what it looks like being popped up. It may allow us to see the leaves a little better. So we're just going to make sure that this is centered. Just like that. Did I forget the paper on this one? Yes, I did. Okay. And then we're just going to add some glue to the back of this heart. And we're going to stick it right here in the center. Now you want to make sure, let me just grab my pokey tool. You just want to make sure that it is a little bit centered in there. I don't know, I think it looks a little bit better being popped up. Hey Anna, how are you, honey? I know, I can't wait either. I really had, like I said, I've been trying to get it all finished, so it'll be a good day. Okay, so now that we have our heart on, I grabbed this and die cut from the Hippo and Friends dies. And let me just grab Did I put it away? I think I did. Let's see. I did. I'm using the Hey Friend. It's from the same stamp set. And I'm going to grab the soft succulent again. And we're just going to stamp Hey Friend right in the center. Just like that. And then where there's so much room on the top and the bottom of this stamp, of this, die cut. Let me see if I put it back. Uh-oh, I didn't. I had my little flower stamp, and I don't know where I stuck it. Oh, nope, that's not it. Okay, so we'll use this little tulip. I'll use the tulip, and I'm going to grab my Calypso Coral again. Do you see? This is how I lose it. I stick them on my ink pads, and then they disappear. So we're just going to put a little tulip under here, just to fill in that space. And then after we do the front of the card, I will actually put a little gem on the top. So let's grab some dimensionals again. And we're going to just stick this on the front of the card. And we'll stick it right about here. Make sure that's straight. Okay, so now that we got that far, let me stick this on the front of the card. Layer it on its layer. Make sure it's centered and on here straight. One thing I like about this embossing folder is both sides have a nice texture. So if you put it in the embossing folder and it's not the right way, you still have texture on both sides. Okay, so let's get this on the front of the card. Put it upside down. And again, I'm going to glue it onto the front. Now the PDF for all of this will be in there. I'll post it in the room, hopefully by noon. Oops. Upside down. See that? Almost did it upside down. That would have been terrible. But it wouldn't have been the first time, that's for sure. Okay. So now that we have that, I'm going to grab these gems again. And on this one, I'm going to change it up so I have little ones. But I'm going to put, I don't even know if it says what color. These are probably pale papaya. And I'm going to put the pale papaya in the four corners. So it looks like this is being held on by the dimensionals. And then I will add a green one to the top of the label. And then I am going to grab another little heart to put right up here. So let's add a little dab of glue. I'm going to stick this heart right here in the center. sure it's in there. And it's centered. That looks good. And then we're going to add another bow to finish off the front of this card. Let's get these out of the way. And let's see what they look like while I'm adding the bow. I think I like it a little better with the heart being popped up a little bit. It just gives the front of the card a little bit more dimension, I think. You see the shadows cast by the die cut. I think it gives it just a little bit more character. Okay. So there we go with that. Grab one of these melted glue dots. Add this to the front. Now if you see the little loops are not really even, you can manipulate them and pull them to adjust it if you need to. And we're just going to give this a little trim. The tail is the right way. Give this one a little trim. And then there's the front of the card. Now, to be honest, look, I forgot to do the inside of this card. So we'll just grab this white, and I think we'll grab these same leaves, and instead of putting the heart inside, let's see, this could be dangerous. We'll put these leaves down here on the bottom, just like that. And where we use the bumblebee, oops, I'll stamp that right in the center there. Get that out of the way. I have my layer 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. We're going to layer on the basic white, which is 5 1/4 by 4. Make sure it's centered. So you have a little extra wiggle room. Put enough glue, but not so much that it runs out. And you'll be able to move the layer around just a couple minutes longer while the glue sets. And then let's add this to the center of the card. Just like that. And then there we go. Card number 2. I like the popped up better. It looks just a little bit different. I know. Hey, Amanda. Yes, melted glue dots. It is hot in here. Okay, so that is card number 2. Now, the box is pretty simple. Like I said, they are food safe. And as you can see, the window is pretty big. So what I did was I again took a die from Hippo and Friends, and with this box I'm using this as a template. So if you'll give me just 1 second, I am going to run this through the Big Shot really quick. So I have my layers together just like this. Here's my template so I know where to put my window. What I actually did, and I don't know if I have the other piece, but when I cut this window out, I saved the template, laid it, glued my paper down, laid the template inside, and then took my paper, put a glue dot on, took my paper and laid it down. So I know exactly where I have to put my die cut. So give me 1 second. Let me just quick cut this out. Now this one I don't have pulled, so just bear with me for 1 second. I want to make sure I have this lined up and do it right. I guess I could have used, no, the small one is too small. Okay, so I'm just going to die cut this out. Okay, so I actually cut it through both pieces. So now what I want to do is for the inside of the box, as you can see this. So I did cut an additional piece. So what I'm going to do is lay this piece down. Let me just grab a glue dot. And I'm just going to grab the template. This piece, the green, is exactly the same size. So let's just lay these together. And I'm just going to lay this in here. That's where I need to die cut. So let me die cut this one really quick. Looks like it's a little crooked, so I'm just going to straighten it out a little bit. Okay, so now we have the piece for the inside too. Save those inside pieces for another card. They're perfect for labels. Okay, so this box is pretty easy. So what we'll do first is, let's just lay this on the inside here. And I'm going to glue it in. We don't really have to worry, although the box is food safe. I'm not using it for food. I'm going to use it to put some cards in as a gift. So this just covers up that inside window so you can't see it. Like I said, like on this one, it just finishes the box off a little bit. And we're just going to fold and burnish all our score lines that are already done for us. Even the sides. Just going to fold the tabs in. Yeah, I always think about the tails of the ribbon too, and then they get tossed. And at the end of the week, I have so many little scraps around that I get sick of them, so I toss them. Okay, so let's see what's my pointy. Okay, so now we're just going to create the box. Now the bottom of the box has all 4 of these tabs, so you just want to make sure you line it up in the back. So the bottom of the box gets these back tabs plus the front tabs. So we're just going to line this up so it's straight. Let me just fold this so I can, there we go. Same with the front. Got glue on me and I can see. And then we have one last one. Now how simple is that? Same thing with the front. Now that we have our score lines, these little tabs just get folded in. Now, like I said, these come 10 to a pack, so it would be perfect for cookies or candies. Okay, so I also cut one for the inside of the bottom, just so it would finish the inside of this box a little bit more. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough DSP because I've been cutting for my craft box. Okay, so there we go. So now you can see the window on the front. Let me just clean up this garbage. And again, I didn't do it for the original box, but you can take your punch, and I won't be able to do it because I put it together, but you can punch in, I think they're both choose a thumb tab, and I should have done it before, but they're just too wide. Okay, you could put a little thumb tab here for the front, for the side of the box. Now we're going to use this. Hopefully it's going to fit the front of the box, and it's off just a little. Let's try this way. And we're going to line this up, and I'm just going to, it's off. Look at that. I cut it off. Dang. Now that one's right. Look at that. This one is off. Let's try it this way. Might have been the way I was holding it. It's off by just a hair right there. Let's try it this way. Nope, that one's way off. Let's try it this way. Can you believe it? Okay, let's just see. See all that measuring I did? It didn't work. All right, let's lay this one on first and see what I can do here. I didn't think about, oops, maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to layer this one on because this one seems to fit okay. Okay, that's what we'll do. And then I did stamp a flower, and I punched a couple of these little leaves from the punch. Just grab that. Okay. And then using the tailored tags dies, I just cut one out in the soft succulent and the DSP and left these so they could wiggle. And then I did a smaller one in the soft succulent and one in the basic white. And let's see what I did with there we go. My to and from. And that one is not here. See, I did it again. I must have taken my stamps and stuck them, and now they are not here. Don't do what I do. I stick them to things and they disappear. Okay, so I took the, I'll have to look for it. It must be in my garbage. I took the to and the from and stamped the smaller one, and then using, and it probably is in the garbage because I was working up here and then threw my paper away. My goodness. And then we're just going to stamp some flowers. Oops. On this tag. And like I said, you'll have your to and your from. Thanks, Amanda. Must be a troll in here. And I'm just going to grab some glue, and I'm going to actually glue the white one to this tag, but then I'm going to use some twine. Don't you just hate when you lose things? I definitely have to check my garbage. I'm just threading my tags just like this, so they're all hanging free, and then I'm just going to tie them all together. I have glue on my finger, just like that. And we're just going to cut this down. Okay. So for the flower, I'm just going to take this flower and I'm going to add it here to the bottom of the opening. And then we'll take these little sprigs. Oops, it's stuck underneath. See how things disappear? And we're just going to add some glue. And I'm only adding glue to the bottom piece. Make sure you add glue to the correct side so the leaves are facing in the same direction. Oops. Just like that. And then we're going to just add one of the gems right to the center. And we're just going to grab a glue dot. I stuck a glue dot up in this corner. And I'm just going to attach the tags to that glue dot and create a bow. And we'll do the same thing through over the top, through, grab that tail, around, and tie your bow. Make sure that knot is nice and tight. I gotta get a wipe from my fingers. Another glue dot. I'm just gonna put it right on top of that twine. And stick into the glue dot. And then we're just gonna make sure our bow is facing the right direction. We can cut off these little tails and then cut our ribbon tail. And then that is the front of our box. So now that we have the front of the box, and then we lined the inside of the box, what I did, let me just get rid of some of this stuff here. I took another piece of paper, and this is 3.5 by 6, and it's scored at 3/4, 3/4, and then 1/2. And this is how I made the little box on the inside. So we're just going to fold and burnish all our score lines. Just like this. Now, this piece, the smallest piece, is going to be our flap. Grab my good scissors. So we're just going to angle that flap and cut this piece out. Just like that. You could round these corners if you wanted to, but I decided to cut them at an angle. Okay? So it will close like this. So now we have to take care of our side pieces. And let me just check to make sure what I did, if I cut that out. I did. So where this is the lid, we're going to cut out this piece, just like this. And then we're going to create our tabs. It's a little easier to fold it and do our little angle cuts. You might have to trim it a little. Okay, so this is our top. We're just going to angle this. And again, if you fold it in half and cut it, it creates that wedge for you. And then we're just going to fold these pieces in. So I'm going to add some glue. Excuse me. It's getting dry in here. I'm just going to fold those pieces in, hold that for a second. And then I'm just going to fold up that outside piece. Now this is going to be on the side of the box. And then on the inside, it'll look nice and neat. That's why I did it that way. So we're going to close this up. Add some glue. And then we have our nice little box for our pen. I did cut a little piece of DSP just to add it to the top of this box. Now you might want to do it before you create the box, because now that there's nothing in it for this one, You can even add a little glue dot if you wanted. I just put in a little piece of tissue paper and the pen. I would actually like to get that confetti type paper or streamy paper. So we're just going to grab that box. This is the front. So we'll add some glue here, across the bottom, on the side, and then I just want to get it here on the back. And then add that to the top of the box, just like that. Now we made the 4 cards. The 4 cards and the envelopes will fit very nicely. And then you have a nice little gift to give to somebody. So there you go. Those are tonight's projects. Again, there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. So I hope you like them. If you place a $35 order by Sunday, I will send you a free swag bag. And don't forget, tonight is the last night for my Christmas in July craft box. It closes tonight at midnight. So thanks for joining me tonight, everybody. I hope you have a great night. Just as a reminder, I'll be on Saturday, and we'll be finishing up our little albums and getting ready for the next project. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks, Amanda. Yeah, the pen is cute. Have a great night, everybody, and hopefully I'll see you on Saturday at 1. You're welcome, Kathy. Have a great night. Thanks, Maggie. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye. Thanks, man. You too, baby. Good night, Elizabeth.